All right, everybody, jumping straight on into the action, already getting some action on the board. We go to Skyline with Wisemen taking on Houston Academy, trying to get things set up for success over towards this P2 side. We're already kicking our way straight on in midway through.
And a couple familiar faces with Gunnycott, El Chulo, Ski Mask, and Vito over here, as well with Justin, Sonny, Gingy, and Kins. Houston Texans got to get back in this one.
Here we go, setting things up for success over towards that P2 side as both teams jostling for a little bit of early control, but it will go the way of Wiseman Black until the Houston team is able to respond and respond in kind. My goodness.
And now from around the outside, they've got those back spawns in the favor as well. Now all you got to do is just sit down, play this P2 right. But look at Wiseman already. Pressure here from this piano side. Nades and stuns, guns, everything out right now. But it's all red in the kill feed so far as the first one does come through for the Spartans. Now from the bottom side, it will be Wiseman that are trying to hit this back flank.
Wiseman trying to come in from every single angle, cuts the player in from the front. Sonny will be able to do the rest though over towards that backside. Checkerboards things out in the feed. So we have some White Hill time going either which side as both teams trying to jostle once again for the control. So far so good for Houston as they will be able to touch for some time and get some justifying kills in the process.
Yeah, and it's just these close back spawns that are doing justice for them, just being able to throw the reinforcements quickly back into the hill. And already a nice 25-second lead, but it is Wiseman that have made their way to the kitchen and trying to cook up something early here. Gingy, though, around from the backside, shots coming in from every which angle here as Sonny just tries to play his life. And for the moment, Wiseman on the hill, but you start to see the kills matriculating for Houston.
Ooh, a good couple of kills, and now you got the Wiseman trying to slide back on into the plate. You do have a lot of different angles that Houston's trying to hit right back in through. It's an absolute mosh pit in for the time, but unfortunately, it's going to go the way of Houston, so they will be able to get those respawns to go, and now the Wisemen have to attack from the north side.
A little bit on the back foot as well, right? You gotta find these opening kills, and they do. 2-for-1 trade, 3-for-1 in the feed, only one man up, and the last ball. So, and the rest of the Wisemen will be able to take them out, and you see this quick rotations already to this back 4P side.
Trying to set up 4P4, you do have a player in the back lines that you're going to have to deal with. That's nice, getting a kill, and unfortunately for him, not going to be able to get a whole lot more else going. Wiseman, they're doing a great job collecting the time on P3. It's a one-man band, unfortunately not going to be able to get a whole lot going, but the P4 spawns are going to be good until they're not. Houston able to come in the nick of time. Now the Wisemen have a problem.
And Houston's just fighting a little bit harder for these spawns, making sure that they don't go too far towards the hill. And already you're seeing it, kills starting to go their way, the 2-for-1 trade for the Spartans, but a couple of kills start to come back Wiseman's way, and now they're knocking on the door of the bedroom. Couple of chows on in, trying to find their way.
Houston trying to attack their way on in. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do when you have these setups from the Wisemen who are locking things down, but now from every single angle they swarm on in. They get a couple of kills to swing their way. Still a mixy mosh pit for the time on the hill, but the Wisemen will be wiser to the play. Houston going to be taken back out towards the backside spawns once again, and now the split play has to come through big.
Yeah, and it's an artificial pinch now kind of created from these spawns. Gingy's going to be able to find the 2Ps to open things up. The players dealt with from each side, and now you're back playing front and back. But for the moment, Wiseman, they've done just enough here, not allowing Houston to get too far out in front. You get that lead almost back in your favor. Quinn, heading back to the second set of rotations, we're about dead even.
Yeah, and Houston playing so far pushed up. Now you have the Wisemen trying to push in, gain some top control, and set themselves up for success. The routes are starting to develop for them over towards that P2 side as well, which is the most pertinent side of the map. But Houston will gladly take all of this free P1 time, trying to get back into the lead. That's exactly what they will be able to do. Ski Mask gets cut down for Houston, looking like a full 60 potentially on the cards.
And one of the biggest power positions in the game here, Quinn, on that hot tub side. So difficult to deal with, especially if you're the team that's trying to fight for these spawns. And Houston Academy right now, they are just playing this time, soaking it up in the back pocket. You see Vito, he knows that there's one here. Now the double chow starts to come through. Houston all over it. 3 dead in the feed, and they just absolutely wiped the floor with the Wisemen.
But now they have to hit the left foot, right foot express. They've got to get some P2 credence. Wiseman, they're going to have those spawns over towards that side, so if they can get a couple of kills to swing their way, they could very well find themselves back into the mix of this. For Houston, they're still trying to attack straight through main, and it's just not a whole lot going their way. So it looks like the Wisemen will be on for some time, but now the question becomes, how long will they maintain? Wiseman looking to maintain for a while.
Ski Mask with the 3-piece, and Wiseman with all the time now in the back pocket. You see Houston spawning now out Narnia, out across the map, and this is going to be a nice 10-20 seconds here, Quinn, where Wiseman can kind of sit back on these headies, play their angles, but now contested hill comes through.
Such a mixy game. Houston trying to make their way on back in, but it's just Wiseman absolutely piecing them apart every single step of the way. It's blue in the feed, and for Houston, there's just not a whole lot you can do. Justin, the one-man band, will not be able to beat his drum too long. Now the Wiseman just completely taken out of the equation.
Yeah, and for the moment, it will be Houston that does get those spawns in for P2, trying to accrue some time as well. But now, all as you head onto the kitchen, you kind of see where these kills are starting to come through. Justin's the first one here, and he finds the opening breaking kill, and now he can wait for the reinforcements to come through.
Such an early rotation here from Houston, but can they get the kills to justify? No, they cannot. Wiseman, they'll be able to collapse right back on in, now trying to extend further over towards that P1 side to gain a little bit more control of the map. Nye's the only player for Houston. He's just going to get absolutely gunned out of his boots. Wiseman completely lock things down in the kitchen, and they are cooking up a nice dinner.
Yeah, now we see Vito for the first and a second. Lights him up in the kill feed. Now makes his way into the spawns of Houston, and they are just running amok right now all over the map. Wiseman done such a good job for the last two hills, chaining them together, parlaying them, if you will, Quinn. And now Houston kind of feeling like they're on the back foot a little bit here.
Yeah, over towards that P2 side, their spawns go, and now Wiseman, they have the opportunity to chain not just P3, but P4 as well. They can get a couple of kills to justify. Houston will be able to break on for at least a couple of seconds of scrap. They will as well get those spawns right back, so hold on, wait a minute. Houston not out of the play quite yet.
Shots come through. A Ski Mask able to take out nice there, and you see the 3-man hit now towards the bedroom side, but Justin, he's got the cutoff angle. Couldn't he get a couple of kills to justify their numbers? Now the slide around on the second, not going to be able to get it though. 2 kills come through for Wiseman all of a sudden, knocking on the back door of this bedroom hill, and it's going to be Houston that's got to lock in.
Sonny has to stand tall for his team, gets a little bit of help off cam from Nyes, but it's not going to be enough. El Chulo now trying to make his way on in, gets cut down after the first 2 kills. Houston will be able to mitigate the disaster, maintain those spawns as well, but Wiseman quick to attack back in.
Yeah, Ski Mask now from the bottom side, able to take out the first, as you will have Chulo that cleans up a second. Now the slide childs are in, and the kills are as well. Wiseman, Black, storm the hill, take it for themselves, and now Quinn knocking on the door of a lead change here.
Houston, though, they have the pincer potentially developing, flying on into the hill. Nyes will be able to take one out, and that's going to be the scrap going the way of Houston. Now you look towards the Wiseman to get set up over towards this P1 side. Still trying to press the issue, though, into P4. They will be able to get a little bit of scrap on the board as well. Some mixy contested mosh pit. But when you do take a look over that P1 side, it is the first player in blue over towards the hot tub.
The hot tub indeed is getting hot, but a couple of kills do start coming back either which way. 2-for-1 trade as Vito keeps himself alive, but only for a second, as now they lose out on the close spawns. Now out for P2, but Chulo around to the backside won't be able to do anything himself, as Houston is now taken complete control.
Houston trying to lock this thing down for some serious time. Again, a hill that could potentially turn into a money hill if they can get the kills to justify. Player on the time does get taken down, and out of the equation they go. Now Sonny, only player in for the time, trying to lock this thing down for the squad. Wiseman, though, pushed over towards that P4 side. They'll have a full re-engagement back on into the hill.
Yeah, but Houston is in a perfect position right there on the P1. They are soaking time, and they have perfect positioning now here for P2. Getting caught from the top side will be able to take the presence off the hill for the Wiseman, but score for the moment. It's Houston that has this lead, but look at El Chulo and Vito now from around the back.
Whew. Oh my goodness, Wiseman, they're going to set themselves up for success over towards that P2 side, trying to press the action even further forward to get some time off of P1 as well. A little bit of insult to injury here. Houston will be able to cross into that 200-point barrier, but not a whole lot of credence over towards this P2 side, as they're going to be tasked with the break.
Yeah, Wiseman flip those spawns out now in the favorable position. Ginge on the way in will get dealt with quickly, and that's going to be the first one done. A couple of trades go either which way. You deal with the second one into the hill, and Wiseman Black for the moment still have control. Yeah, Vito kind of watching this side for you. That shuts down the pressure around for the back, and now everything coming through the front side and piano.
Ooh, just every step of the way. The Wisemen, they are able to hold this for the time being. El Chulo soaking up all that time that is so desperately needed with just a 20-point margin of error. It's going to go the way of Houston for the time being, but Wiseman will be able to respond back.
Wiseman responding back in tow with a multi-kills. And now, all of a sudden, you look up at your scoreboard, 194 and climbing here for Wiseman.
Oh.
They have dug their way back into this, and now Ski Mask might have the play of the century here now on the flank. Can he drop down, find a couple of kills necessary to open things up? Finds the first one there. You get kills from the other side, and now the pincer may be on for Wiseman.
Houston have to stand tall here. Now Ski Mask into the hill. He flies, has to get the kill to go, but not going to expect Justin in for the time. Houston will be able to pop this hill red, and now for the Wisemen spawning over towards that P1 side, they have to find a new way to hit their way on in.
Wiseman, the push on in. Justin kind of holding this down around the bar side as the kills start to matriculate. Houston, 1, 2, 3, lighting up the only one left alive in that mixy exchange. And now everyone from Wiseman sit packing and sit back to the spawn.
Oh, it's going to be a one-dimensional hit now for the Wisemen as well, as they have to hit from the left side. A couple of kills will swing their way, but it's only going to be one for the time. And Vito will be able to find the second. Now Chulo trying to bob, trying to weave. Will be able to find that kill, so the Wisemen able to break in the nick of time. But for Houston, they only need 18 seconds. They can chalk this hill up and play for P4.
Sometimes the basic hit is the best hit, right? Wiseman all forward through the front side, able to clean up on the hill, but you still have to take Houston off of this. You don't want to let him get so close to that 250 mark, trying to play the white hill time, but not able to do so. Hill's going back and forth as Houston collects all of this scrap time, and they don't win it here, but they get very damn close.
Houston's gonna get all of that scrap time now. Just needs 5 seconds on the board for P4. Wisemen have to play this picture perfect from this point forward. Vito, though, will be able to get one. It's not gonna be enough, though. Flying on into the hill, and Sunny is gonna shut things down. Shuts down the map as well, as Wiseman cannot touch. That will be Houston taking the first map.
Houston Spartans come roaring into that hill. I mean, it's like you said, you didn't want to give up too much of that time there off that kitchen hill. Gets him to 245, one easy break on in, and that is all she wrote for the side of Houston Academy. Beautiful scenes out of them, and that's a hard point that comes right down to the wire. Wiseman Black doing everything they can to stay in it, but Houston just a little bit better in the end.
Yeah, looking to bring all of the fireworks into our second series that we are covering here today. It's not quite as much of a margin of victory from what we saw last time. That was Verified taking on Awaken. That was about 150 points. This one coming down to the absolute wire, giving us all of the heroics that we could possibly ask for. Just a 29-point differential before we kick our way into the S&D. And I mean, talk to me a little bit about how a map like that to set the tone, especially in a best of 3 with so little room for error, can really set up either of these teams.
I mean, on the front side, right, for Houston Academy, I mean, you take that win, you get the 1-0 lead here in a best of 3, and you just snowball it, right? You got the win, you did the dirty work there on the hard point. Now it's just fundamental S&D that could send you on to the next round. If you're on the side of Wiseman, though, I mean, you kind of just got to chalk that up as what Skyline is, right? And what it is just a mixy mosh pit from hell. I mean, there are no money hills on that map, especially with the spawns being so easily influenced. Only 1-2 dead off the hill can immediately flip the spawns out of your favor. And when you get a map like that that's a little bit unpredictable, it's everyone just head challenging, guns up, ready to go. I mean, you saw it there. I mean, I think everyone almost getting into the 30s of the kill marks. And I mean, really, that's exactly what that map has kind of led us to play for, especially in 4v4, Quinn. I know when we played in pubs a little bit, we're kind of messing around on the off days, right? That map can kind of be a little bit slower. People just sitting down in the spawns, sitting up in there. But the 4v4, where their spawns are just so tricky, right? They're so meticulous in how they flip you out. It can be turned on a dime.
Yeah, no, if you don't come into a Skyline hardpoint hot, you're probably going to go out with a loss. It is both of these teams, though. I mean, jostling for control of the way through. Wiseman so very, very close. It's just one single hill rotation that just doesn't go their way, and Houston's able to, I guess, capitalize off of that. But now we go into the S&D, and I mean, between these two teams, we talked about the S&D within our last series. We had a team where it definitively felt like they had the gunny advantage. You take a look at this, and again, you said both of these teams with all of these players inching towards around 30 kills a piece. Really hard to say who might have that gunny advantage. So heading into an S&D, how do you really set yourself up for success? I know we don't necessarily have the map on the docket quite yet for our S&D, but really just fundamental S&D, how can you parlay?
Yeah, and I think for Houston, the one thing that they did almost incredibly well was just fighting for those spawns time and time again. They knew if they were able to play the close spawns for those P2 and P4 respectively, they were going to be able to just itch their way out. And I think that's going to play in the S&D very, very well for them, making the right play in the right moment. And that's what S&D all comes down to, those split-second decisions. Turn left, turn right, chow this, chow that. That one split second, you blink, you miss it, the round is over. And I think that's something that Houston does just a slight bit better right now coming in from that hard point. So I think coming into the S&D, you give Houston maybe the slight nod, but I mean, like you said, a map that comes down to literally less than one hard point, everything is still up in the air.
The best of three, we hit the fork in our road. Either Wisemen will be going home or Houston Academy is potentially going to have a little bit of fight back from the Wisemen. We're going to go ahead and send it to a quick break, get our S&D set and ready to go. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss a second of the action. All right, everybody, welcome back into the action. We go into Vault S&D. Houston Academy currently up 1-0 in the series, have the opportunity to close things out. Starting off here on the defensive side, I do believe. Wiseman quick to get that split down, Matt.
I love the play out of him. Ski Mask already going to be working around the backside, though. That's the first one on to Nice. But it's like you mentioned, bomb planted here early, already 34 seconds left on the clock. Starts to kind of become that extra player here a little bit.
And Houston just continuing to piece them apart here, trying to make the defensive vestige on in. Gingy, last player into the hill, gets 2 to go. But now it's going to have to come down to 1v2.
Ginge around from the bottom side. Might be able to find the first tags on the first one. Find the second, absolutely. Lines them up, sits them down. And that will be the first round in the back pocket. Quinn, I do believe the teams may be flopped.
Might have to give a check on that after the fact, but nonetheless, it's a good start here for the team that did win it.
Hey, best production in the game, man. Shout out Cheeto.
Oh, we love it here. I mean, when there's 128 teams, you're going to have a couple of moving pieces that you have to account for. So we'll keep you guys honest at home, but nonetheless, it's an early 1-0 start for the team in red.
Nice little dive out of the window there as he's going to get active early here. Stuns nades out. This does look like the first blood is in the back pocket of Ginge here already, and this is an aggressive run right now.
My goodness, I mean, Wiseman just completely trying to send it on in on this defensive side, but Houston already in for the time, already getting that bomb planted. Gonna have the player personnel advantage as well, just have to hide in the waters and get the kills to justify. It's gonna be a back and forth mosh pit though, nonetheless, and now the Wisemen, they've gotta go. Now a kill will enter the feed, now into the 2v2, 1v2 it goes. Sunny, last player standing, will be able to get it to go for the side of Houston.
I mean, that is Gingy just putting on a masterclass 2 rounds in a row. 1v2 for the last, and the pistol shots to go in the 1v1 in the second round. Beautiful performance right now out of Ginge, and it's 2-0 up right now. I mean, there's just nothing you can do if you're on the other side. I mean, this is just offense, defense. Either way you slice it right now, you are on your back foot.
Special teams, special plays, special players for the side of Houston. Now for Wiseman. I mean, you have to have a response here. Again, your back is against the wall. You're down 0-1 in the series. We're not going to a best of 5, folks. This is a best of 3. You have to make your mark here and now for Houston. Just diving straight on in.
No losers bracket either. It is all to play for, and Nice is going to slide right into the firing squad. Already first blood in the back pocket. Now starting to make their way through. Nice little view here of the outside of the bomb, and we hop on board with Gunny now, working around the back alley.
Wiseman trying to make their stake right back. The beams from the Jackal will go. My goodness. But now, Defuse coming through. You've got to make the play here and now, and there's just no credence to get it to go. You blink. There's no Houston players to stand. Houston might have a problem.
And already one on the board, and we've seen S&Ds before, Quinn, especially here in this tournament where one team starts out hot, they get that 3-1, 2-0 kind of early lead, and the other team just kind of starts sliding back in, trying to crawl their way back into the series and the map. It's exactly what the Wisemen are trying to do here.
They've got to do it. It has to be here. It has to be now. I mean, we saw it within our last series. It was a pub stomping on the hard point, but the team that didn't win it came back strong in the S&D. Can the Wisemen do what Awaken couldn't? Can they bring it back on the S&D, bring us to our first map 3 of the day, or will Houston just put belt to ass? Round the corner they go. Wiseman opening up with a kill.
It's Gunny with the Gunny there onto the first blood, and trying to work your way around into the vault now, and a little bit of a staggered push out of the side of Houston. Kind of been stopped in their tracks a little bit here.
Not a whole lot of credence to be found here, just trying to set up for the defensive side. For the Wisemen, though, they have the routes, they have the bomb in the backlines as well. Ski Mask could completely punish.
Ski Mask sneaking through, but it's going to be a kill off screen that evens things up. But now the sneaky snake will strike and find the kill on top side, but immediately traded, and all of a sudden, Nice left alone.
To the 1v1. Both teams, so much on the line here. In terms of the momentum as well, the bomb taken out of the equation, and it's just a head-on collision as Houston will be able to respond. Puts another round on the board, evens us up.
2 apiece, 2 rounds in a row for both of these teams to open up this map number 2 here, Gwen, and you can tell, especially in the map 2 S&Ds, where both teams kind of start to settle into the series, start to find their footing. And both of these teams, again, looking to put on a barn burner. I mean, you take us back to that map 1, Quinn, 250 to 221, and now already back and forth we have gone. Just feels like potentially another round 11 on the docket, but I digress. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here early.
Hey, I mean, heavyweight fighters in the ring, what else could you possibly expect? And now Houston, with a little bit of momentum moving into this, are just going to send it straight down into that A-bomb site, try and get that spot, get that bomb planted. Now for Wisemen, I mean, what is the response here?
Try to fight this off. Ski Mask, he's peeking into the side. If he can get this opening kill here, collapse on it as a team, they may be able to find an opening, but the timing for both of these players is just so awful.
It's gonna make me sick. Houston, though, with the first opening kill on the board. Sunny taking one out of the equation, but El Chulo will respond, and now for Ski Mask, does not have the credence, has to find a new angle to play from here. It's back and forth, tags either which way, but Houston's able to find one. Same with Wiseman, and Ski Mask to come through with a little bit of help from El Chulo. The body shots to go as well. As Wiseman get the defuse, get the round on the board, get their first lead on the map.
Just now joining us again, teams are flipped. That is Wiseman now taking their third round in a row. It's like you said, the team that kind of faltered in that first map seemingly just has that extra gear, a little bit of extra chip on their shoulder heading into that map number 2. You can see it right now from the Wiseman squad. I mean, just putting round after round after round together. Now with the potential to take a 2-round lead here in this map number 2, potentially forcing that pivotal map 3.
Again, we are yet to see that first map 3. Again, we're in our second series of the night. The night is still very young, but both of these teams, more specifically Wiseman, having the opportunity to do what has not been done quite yet. Houston starting off on the defensive side here, trying to get a little bit of credence over towards this A-bomb site, where once again, it's just round after round, all of these teams heading over towards that side.
And El Chulo, though, is going to even things up for us here, but immediately traded back and traded again into the 2v2 now between both of these teams. Things will slow down a little bit here, but Chulo a little bit spread out from his teammate at the moment.
Yeah, and Wiseman, they're not going to be able to play the buddy system like Houston is. Houston trying to make the approach on in. They're going to have to go quickly here, though, as the Wiseman, they will have the opportunity to try and lock this thing down. The time can hold with 17 seconds left on the board. You've got to go. You've got to go now. Ski Mask trying to reformulate this push around the back lines, potentially to send them off kilter. Defuse coming through. You got to go now.
You got to go now. You got to try to find this defuse. You take the defuser off, and that's the round that you needed. Even though the 1v1's still ensuing, that's not going to be the defuse to come through, and it will be Wiseman Black with 4 rounds in a row, back to back to back to back.
My goodness, stacking rounds like they are rings and they are Tom Brady. Gonna stack those next 2 on the board, and now if you are Houston, I mean, you're left kind of scratching your head here. Again, you have a really good hard point where it's still contentious, but you're able to close things out. You start off really hot on the S&D, but again, as you said, it's back to back to back to back rounds. You're kind of off your footing here.
Yeah, I mean, especially after taking that 2-0 lead. I mean, you had the thinking after that first hard point, all right, now we're just going to kind of steamroll them here in this S&D, but no, it is the Wisemen that have come flying back, and now a much-needed round to avoid going down 5-2.
That's going to be the opening kill once again for the Wisemen as well. Just continuing to put belt to ass, add insult to injury here. Gingy as well will be able to push up and hold on. Wait a minute, Houston now looking for the response. Ski Mask will once again be able to find a kill, evens us out, gets that bomb down as well. Now for Houston, you've got to hold.
Holding into this bomb site, you play that buddy system, you go hand in hand. Check these angles out. They're working all the way around. The timing absolutely awful for Ginge is now all on his lonesome. Sunny in the 1v2.
Let's play every single angle. Gets the first kill. Now, does he know the player behind him? Does he anticipate it? No, Vito will be able to get the kill to go the defuse to ensue as well. And Wiseman go back to back to back to back to back.
5 rounds in a row from the Wisemen after going down 2-0 in this map number 2. They have come firing back with an absolute demon mentality right now. There's nothing that Houston can seemingly do on the map. It's 5 straight rounds, 1 more to close out the map and send us to that map number 3. Both of these teams seemingly evenly matched in the hard point, but the S&D prowess right now of the Wisemen rearing its head.
Yeah, and again, it's a little bit puzzling given the fact that Houston started off with a lot of success in those first 2 rounds. They had a cushion going, but that cushion just gets completely enveloped by the Wisemen. We're now just 1 round away from bringing us to a game 3. have the opportunity to do the funniest thing that we have seen so far as El Chulo opens with one, El Chulo opens with two, and sets the Wisemen up for success.
Not only the first, but the second blood as well. Talk about setting yourself up for success. 2v4 situation here early for the Spartans. Bombs planted. Gingy just looking around, trying to find any information onto these players, but they are tucked away into this bomb site, and this is a Fort Knox kind of retake.
Yeah, Wiseman so well spread out here. Vito makes him eat it. Nice. Last player standing no longer as Houston goes down. Wiseman 6-2 on the S&D. My goodness, 6 rounds rattled off.
After going down 2-0, it was kind of that masterclass performance for Ginge in the first and the second round. And after that, Wiseman just rattling off 6 rounds in a row, absolutely flawless to end out that map number 2. You talk about gaining yourself some momentum heading into the last map of a series. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, again, you go into the first game 3 that we have had on broadcast thus far. Both of these teams showing their moments of prowess, but when you look at how the hard point went, Houston was able to come out on top there. You question now, though, after an S&D that goes like that, where the Wisemen rattle off those 6 rounds, how much of a mental blow can that do to a team like Houston?
I mean, it can suck all the wind right out of your sails, right? I mean, they come off of that map 1 hardpoint performance where it is down to the wire, 250 to 221. You're even at least expecting the next map to be kind of a dogfight. Maybe go to a round 10, maybe go to a round 11. You get the early 2-0 lead, you're feeling good. Everything is with you momentum-wise in 6 rounds in a row where you can do absolutely nothing. I think you find 1 first blood in the last 6 rounds there as to the side of Wiseman Black. It was flawless in S&D. Now heading into the hard point, they've been on the back foot a little bit, but a chance to redeem themselves and push themselves on into the 3rd round of this big tournament.
And hey, I mean, a reverse sweep in a best of 3 is still a reverse sweep. Wiseman looking to do the funny thing for Houston. They're looking to buckle up on the hard points, lock this thing down for the respawns, and say, hey, in a best of 3, S&Ds do not, in fact, win championships. It's the opportunity for Houston to try and swing back. And again, when we talk about the Grand Series as a whole, you talk about that Skyline hardpoint being close, coming down to a single rotation. I mean, Wiseman, though, came out and absolutely laid out the pain on the S&D. So you talk about overall dominance within this series, it definitely has to be tipped over towards the Wiseman side of things.
No, absolutely. I mean, all the momentum is with them, all the wind in their sails heading into this one. And I mean, potentially, like you said, the reverse sweep now on the cards may not be as hard as winning 3 maps in a row, but still 2 maps in a row to end off a series, particularly after a first hardpoint loss like that. Just shows kind of the mental, where they're at for the side of the Wisemen. But I mean, for me right now, Houston still in this series nonetheless. Still the hardpoint prowess out of them shown in that map number 1 leads me to believe that this map 3 could as well come down to the wire.
It's going to be a really interesting map to follow once we kick it past our break. We're going to go ahead and send it 2-1, though, to get things locked in, reared, and ready to go for our first game 3 of the night. Wiseman taking back Houston Academy when we come back from the break. All right, folks, it comes down to this. Red card, hard point in the mix, map number 3, Houston taking on Wisemen. With the opportunity for one of these teams to push on forward, one of these teams going home. P1 online, let's get it going.
All to fight for here on red card. Wisemen already taking the hill here early, but it's the shots from Sunny. Done on the first kill. The second as well to follow. 3-for-1 trade now in the feed ensues, but Wisemen Black still with the reinforcements here with the close spawns, trying to do the dirty work on in, but this is just as mixy as you like it off the start.
Yeah, Wisemen trying to make their way over towards that P2 side. They're going to have to push very, very hard. Unfortunately, though, it's the Houston Spartans just locking things down. Looking real good, pushing into those back spawns.
Those back spawns early. Shots there from Vito. Good on the first, and not a little on the second. Got a little windy there, but as we know, on red card, things tend to get a little bit windy, a little bit mixy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit indeed.
Houston set up over towards that P2 side. Wisemen, they are collecting all that time on P1. They will enter with a 4-point lead, but now things start to get a little bit serious as P2 comes online.
Vito from under the stage, the sneaky snake himself with the caught. I mean, may have not worked. He does check the corners, though, able to find the first. Those 2 kills comes through for the Wisemen. A couple of mixy trades now in the kill feed, but will turn into the favor of Wisemen. They try to force the action push up towards these spawns. Vito, he's got the perfect crosser. Kills, finds the first, and Wisemen Black looks set up and ready to go.
Yeah, Houston have to push their way onto this hill. Luckily, still going to maintain those spawns, but for how long is the question when the Wisemen just continuously shut them down every step of the way. Vito, the thorn in the backside, just continues to find the tags, continues to find the kills, but the Houston Spartans are on for the time being.
Just laying down here, not able to find the kill necessary just yet. As Gingy, Cave, and Sunny going to pop for 4. And Houston Spartans clean up the kill feed, flip the spawns out in their favor for the new hill, and now put themselves in a perfect position to take a big lead here early.
If you're the Wisemen, you gotta go. You gotta hit the left foot, right foot express on a map like red card. It can be an absolute snowball effect if you don't get onto this hill early, and now Sunny will be caught out, but not going to be a huge, big deficit as he will spawn in over towards this P3 side, where Wisemen have finally made their vestige, now have to get the kills.
Be the first 2 kills that do come through for the side of the Houston Spartans, but you do have Ski Mask lurking around from the backside, able to find you. Trying to be the thorn in the side, just trying to delay the hit here from the Houston Spartans, but the close back spawns for them will allow them to just keep throwing the reinforcements on in. Justin will pick up the off screen, and Ginge will clean up the last. Houston Spartans running through like a hot knife through butter.
It's a Justin masterclass here, but now the pincer is starting to develop early on for Wisemen as they have the opportunity to try and cut their way into the hill. Back and forth we go in terms of the kills, but Wisemen will be able to find their time on the board for at least a little bit of scrap, but it's not going to be a whole lot going their way as Houston is going to hit the left foot, right foot express right on over towards that P4 side.
And this is something that we talked about from the first hard point, that Houston Spartans looked a little bit more on top of their rotation, specifically hitting into those money hills, if you could call them any, on Skyline. But here on red card, these longer rotations, these more spread out spawns, seemingly doing the Spartans justice as they are just controlling the game for the moment.
Yeah, it's a Houston masterclass, and they have the opportunity to just continue to add insult to injury. Nice with 1. Not going to be able to find a whole lot else, but unfortunately for the Wisemen, his team is there in tow. Wisemen, though, still trying to press the issue on it, and it's just kill after kill going towards the red side.
I mean, there's just nothing you could do if you were Wisemen Black. I mean, you are running into the gunnies of the Spartans, and for the moment, it is just time for the Spartans right here, including on the board. 125 to 43, still counting up. Chulo, though, finds 1, finds 2, finds 3. Now looking to force the action, might even be able to find the 4th, finding the kill. Will go down, but it will be the kill-up kill from Wisemen Black that allows them to get this. But look at your rotations, look at your new hill.
It's looking like the Wisemen might have their first rotation of the day, so rejoice as they will be on for that P5 time. Now they've got to hold this thing starting to slip away ever so slightly. A couple of kills will enter. The feed is Gunny, locking things down for the squad, but now coming in from other different angles, and El Chulo once again will be able to lock it down for the Wisemen.
And this is a perfect time to start coming alive here if you're El Chulo, and if you are the Wisemen Black, you dug yourself into a hole, but not too deep to get out of just yet. Houston Spartans trying to hit through around this backside side, not really able to find the kills to justify right now, Quinn.
Now how the turns can table once again. Wisemen trying to find their way back into the mix of this, but Houston says no, shuts them down, gets the time on the board, and gets the scrap to go as the Wisemen now left scrambling.
Yeah, that's a beautiful flank there from Justin to be able to pick up those kills, help his teammates out from along the side. Just turn a few heads here, Quinn. Kills come through for them as well in the kill feed. You talk about the scrap time being unlocked, and on 20 seconds in the back pocket. Nothing to bat an eye at here, as now on the second set of rotations. Wiseman Black still down about 70.
It's a hop and a skip away here for Houston as they can just hop on for that P1 time. Wiseman, they have to get in, and they have to get in now. This P1 could very quickly turn into a money hill for Houston. First kill, though, will enter the feed as El Chulo trying to find his way on in, but the checkerboard things out in the feed is a Genji masterclass. 3 kills on the board, gets the 4th to go with a little bit of help from Sunny, and Houston is once again on for the time.
162 and just counting on up. El Chulo gonna be sent to the grave. Justin might be the next one on the docket. It is the Wiseman Black, though, that come through. 3 huge kills for them, may able to get themselves on the hill for the moment, but P2 right now fully insecure here for the Spartans.
Now, if you're Ski Mask, you have to make the play of the century in the backlines, or excuse me, that's Vito, has to get a couple of kills to cut the Houston Spartans off of this time. P2 coming online in a matter of moments, and now the Wisemen starting to swarm on in, starting to get the kills to justify, trying to flip the Spartans out of the control.
A little out of control right here, but you've got to go quickly. You've dug yourself right back into this game. You have that P2 in your favor right now. You just have to make it a good hill. Justin, now could turn things around. That's the first 2 kills that come through. Will be traded out, but it's a 3-for-1 trade, and now you lose out on the hill. You lose out, but not on the spawns. Look to your back.
Wisemen have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, but they're getting shut down every step of the way. It's a 2-to-2 trade. Now for the Spartans, they have to fly right back on in. Nyes will get another kill on the board, but do they anticipate the fact that the Wisemen still maintain these spawns? They're still spawning in for P2, still having the opportunity to contest, but every single time getting chopped down at the seams.
Watching another land this weekend, this is the exact hill where these spawns just do not seemingly go how you think they will go. You can see it. It's a race. It's a sprint. Everyone running now over towards the P3 side. Players in front, players in back. It's the mixiest mini-map you've ever seen. Finally getting the hill is El Chulo first, and the Wiseman Black now potentially with control.
Not out of this quite yet by any stretch of the imagination, as this once again could be a money hill, this time in a different font, as the Wiseman Black trying to do exactly what Houston did last time, and Houston spawning out an absolute Narn. Have to make the go here and now.
And they make it happen. 133, counting up. Look at who's on the flank once again. Justin finds the first, not gonna find the second, but will get shut down in the back line. So, for the moment, flank dealt with. Now, only having to look towards the front is Wiseman Black, and doing so at a very well pace. Wiseman now starting to garner, starting to cut into the lead. Now, only about 30 seconds down.
It's such a one-dimensional push here for the Houston Spartans. They're not getting the kills to justify as well. And Ski Mask in the back lines, cutting them down every single step of the way. Only player that can get into the time is Justin. He will be able to find 2, so hold on, wait a minute. Now starting to swarm on into the hill is the Houston Spartans, as they will touch for some time, but Ski Mask continuing to cut down every step of the way.
Houston Spartans are in for the hill, at least for the moment here, but not a lot of time left to work with. Only scraps left on your plate. But look at these spawns here, all spread out along the map. These players are going to be running into each other off of these rotations as well. Gunfight heading towards New. Gunny trying to slip his way into the back lines of Houston Spartans, but he will get taken down. And Houston Spartans should have control of that side of the map.
Now for the Wisemen, I mean, this is again such a one-dimensional push here. They've got to get the kills straight on in. Vito, the only source of dimension, will be taken out of the equation, and now it's just the Houston Spartans funneling the kills their way. Vito will be able to find one to try and even things up, and now look at those spawns flipping out for the side of Wisemen as they're able to contest on for the time.
65 to 206 here. White Hill time, at least for the moment, as Wiseman finally going to be able to dive on in. Vito around the backside. Shots aren't going to be able to get here. Finally, with the pistol, will be able to get it done. 2 kills come through in the feed, and Wiseman shut down the pressure. Send Houston Spartans packing, at least for the moment, and still a little bit of time to corner.
Houston able to cross into that 200-point barrier. Now can Wiseman do the same? That is the question. As they try and lock this thing down, a couple of kills will swing their way, but after that, it's just Ski Mask able to get the kills to justify, as the Spartans still trying to beat their drum on in. It's not going to be enough, though, as Vito will be able to provide some support, and now the Wiseman Black get that scrap time on the board, but Houston, they're already over towards that P5 side.
Now, look at El Chulo working through the back lines here, now getting some spawns for his team. They could hit through the back here, shut this whole thing down. If Houston's not ready for the flip, you have players dropping all around you as well. Gunny's gonna go off, find another kill on the point, and the Wisemen are in.
Oh, but the Houston Spartans, they're able to respond in time. It's White Hill time. Wiseman still spawning in for this P5, so Houston, they have to make good on this hit here and now. A couple of kills swing their way, but it's not going to be a whole lot to go in terms of the map control, as El Chulo pops for 3.
it's still White Hill time. Wisemen haven't found their way onto it. Finally able to dip a toe on in, but kills starting to come through and matriculate for the Spartans as well. Sunny tries to break his way on in as kills come through from the other side from his team. 3 dead in the feed, and all of a sudden, Spartans light it up, and now we're on the hill.
And Wisemen, they're spawning in for P5, but you have to start to make your attention over towards this P1 side. You're not even able to get out of the dugout. This is tall tasks up ahead for the Wisemen as Houston has the opportunity to parlay.
And it's seemingly the exact same story as Skyline, but can the Wisemen flip the script in their favor? Sunny finds the first opening kill, Gingy for the second blood. The Wisemen still here, still trying to trade efficiently, but Houston Spartans refusing to relinquish control.
Wiseman starting to run out of gas here. They've got to go now. The Spartans are on for the time, and they very well could take it here and now. A couple of key kills can find their way into the feed for them, but still, the Wisemen, they're able to find a couple of kills. They're able to hold on for the time and continue to contest.
You just need to hold the contention. You have this P2 side of the map. You just can't allow the pressure in through mid from the Spartans, who now are on the time. Sunny finding a big kill there as the Houston Spartans continue to edge their way closer to the 250 mark.
Just need 11 points on the board if you are the Houston Spartans, but now those spawns not looking very favorable. The Wisemen are going to have spawns for P2. They very well could swing this right back their way if they can maintain this scrap as well.
That's big for them right now. Kind of gets them right into the position that they need to be in. 2:24, now only 26 seconds away from winning it as Spartans get a little bit of time back off that P1 as P2 pops. But Wisemen, they're here, they're locked in, they're ready to go.
Big kills for the Wisemen. Now, can they justify on P2? On for the time here and now. Need 20 seconds to go their way. Now, Houston spawning in the back lines as well. They have those P2 spawns flipped and going. Can they get the kills to justify on in? It's back and forth in the kill feed, but Ski Mask goes crazy.
Wisemen get the 4 dead they need, but it's still Houston Spartans spawning right out back, knocking on the door of the 250 mark, but Wisemen running right up on the door as well.
Houston needs a break. They need it here. They need it now. A couple of kills will matriculate their way in the feed as the Houston Spartans fly on for the time.
They fly on for the time. The reinforcements still here, close for Wiseman. Black Ski Mask, he's gotta go. He's gotta go up over the top. Not gonna be able to make it. Not gonna be able to hit the 250 mark either, but now they do. And Spartans, with the skin of their teeth, by 10 seconds of a margin, able to take the second hard point, able to take the series, and able to push their way on